you, sir? Good, how are you?
Hello.
Can we have an audience, or should we leave a message, or?
What would you like to share with us? I'm more than happy to speak with the senator. He's in a meeting right now, but what can I do for you?
My name is Beth Domino from the Port Jeff Station Teachers Association, and we'd like to tell Mr. Flanagan that we would very much hope that he would bring the bill to the floor and allow for the Common Core going down to be voted on, as well as the high-stakes testing, because we believe that, in fact, they are hurting children. And we are mandatory reporters by the state of New York as teachers, and so we would like to report that our children are being abused. And we believe that the way that that abuse will stop is if the high-stakes testing and the Common Core stop.
Okay.
And as Dr. Rella very eloquently said, stop it, take a look at it and fix it if you can. If you can't, I think it has to be tossed away.
Okay. You mentioned legislation to come to the floor.
Mr. Graff,
Which bill?
Mr. Graff's bill in the other house, right?
Okay, in the assembly?
Needs to be.
Okay, that's not Senator Flanagan's
I
responsibility to
appreciate,
bring that legislation to the floor.
I appreciate that, but he can craft legislation that's similar to it and bring that to the floor of the Senate, because he not only represents Consulate, he represents every New York child, because he chairs the committee.
And he's demonstrated that actually by traveling across New York State and holding hearings and gathering information. And I'm sure all of you have gone on our website to provide written testimony expressing your concerns about Common Core and about privacy issues.
Yes, many times.
And you have. And
yes,
that's great. Because
I don't know if I've done that directly to your
okay.
your website, but we've sent letters to that effect too, directly to the
that's
Senate.
Great.
So,
and those have been scanned in, and we're going to include that as part of the official public record.
Exactly, and we appreciate that.
And the hearings that he's holding, and he's held 4 throughout New York State.
And
we'll be holding a 5th in Albany.
And how does the senator feel after those hearings? Has he changed his stance on any of these reforms?
He's still gathering all the information. We will compile that information, and we will be putting that together in the official record, along with recommendations that will be sent to the governor's office, to the Commissioner King, and also to the state regents.
And what recommendations will he be making?
He will make that decision once
After
he's
he
concluded all
finishes
the
his,
hearings.
yes, after.
You know,
well,
then
then
our children are going through this process. We have already had to administer tests that were abusive last year, that the students were not prepared for. And this is unconscionable to me. How could our standing chair on education in New York State allow this to be rolled out without adequate preparation?
Okay. It was the regents that adopted the Common Core Learning Standards.
Sir,
and it's the State Education
Sir, our elected
that was
officials are the ones that choose the regents.
Okay.
And Mr. King is absolutely ineffective. If I gave a test that only 30% of the students passed, I would get rid of the test. I would assume that my ability to teach that material was not up to par, and I would either reteach the material, or I'd give another test and try it again, and then reteach it, and then I would give another test if in fact I needed to do that. If I continued to have students failing that exam, obviously Mr. King doesn't realize that he's ineffective because he's the one that put this forth. So just like everyone else has to be held accountable, I believe that Mr. King has to be held accountable. And unfortunately, we don't get to vote for Mr. King, but we do vote for the people that put the regents in, who pick Mr. King. And Mr. Flanagan's not running this year, but he is running next year. And so, in fact, I think he's going to want to listen to all of his constituents. And we appreciate your time.
Not just the ones from Sacramento.
And Michelle Rhee,
yeah,
his largest contributor. So with that, we'll leave, and we'll appreciate if you would. I see that she's recording it, so I'm hoping that